So Scott Eckley with D.R. Horton Homes, it's funny because as we see the inventory drop, it becomes more and more prevalent for, and especially real estate agents, for us to encourage people, hey, really consider new construction because there isn't as much in the resale market, and obviously you guys can create the inventory because you have the land. So I wanted you to talk about, obviously the market improvements, but that also points to an amazing time to buy a new home in a D.R. Horton home.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got a lot of new. First of all, thank you so much for having me on the show.
Oh, you're welcome.
We have a lot of new communities opening in a lot of great locations everywhere from as far north to kind of Zephyr Hills all the way down to Sarasota. New communities at all sorts of different price points, able to reach that value proposition for a wide variety of buyers. You're absolutely right. One of the things that we do in all of our communities is we want to make sure we have inventory on the ground. There's a lot of people relocating into the area, and they don't want to wait 6-7 months to build a home, and so they need something they can move into in the course of the next 30-45 days as they wrap up that mortgage process, so we're able to meet those buyers' needs. And there's just a lot of advantages built into buying on the new side as well. I think it starts with the energy efficiency that you're seeing in these new homes. It's just amazing how much it's improved in just the last 3, 4, 5 years. And so you're able to get that energy efficiency. The warranty, I mean, just being new, you're getting a new home, which means a new roof, a new air conditioner, a new hot water heater, and the warranty that's going to go along with that. And then the style and looks, it's amazing how much, homes can evolve in just 4 or 5 years, and what looked great 5 years ago is a little dated, and those cabinets are a little old looking, and so a lot of that's going on. So, for all those reasons, it's a great time to come take a look at a new home.
And we've talked, Arnie, obviously about that same concept with, you've got utility savings, so you're lower cost there. You've got tax savings because in year one you're going to pay tax on land usually. So initially in year one it's cheaper. Yep. You've got the lower cost of maintenance and lower cost of insurance. We have Artisan Insurance, Richard Vasquez on our radio show. He does a lot of new construction homeowners insurance, and he's regularly talking about, hey, look, same home, 20 years apart, half the insurance bill because there's less likely warranty will cover some things. There's less likely for claims. One of the things I think that's important is the technology side of it. Especially with David's not here today, our resident millennial. We give David a hard time on the show because he likes to brag that he's still a millennial. He gets to rub his age on our face. And what's interesting about that is all the bells and whistles and technology that new construction has that a resale home doesn't have. Yeah. And I'm sure you guys are implementing a lot of that right now, I would assume.
Yeah, absolutely. And we have, in our 3 different brands, it ranges, but yes, it's, the latest and greatest, all the bells and whistles, and we want to make sure that, and we have to stay current because our buyers demand it, right? And their lives have changed, more and more people. It's always interesting to mount the number of people I meet that work from home.
It's crazy how many.
Yes, it's so a new trend, absolutely.
Yeah, it is. It is. I mean, I read the book 4-Hour Work Week, and as I talk to people, I think everyone read that book because so many people and so many companies allowing it. One of the things that I think is awesome about D.R. Horton compared to some other builders are, we get a lot of people that vacation here. A lot of people maybe tune into the show that don't live here full time. You guys are not just a Tampa Bay builder. You guys are America's builder. I mean, you guys are a large scale powerhouse builder.
Yeah, it's interesting. 14 years in a row, the #1 builder in the U.S. both in terms of signups and closings. And I was talking to my boss last week, and he was talking to his. We don't think that's ever happened in the history of home building in the United States that any one company 14 years in a row has been the largest home builder. Yeah, things are going great for us both here in Tampa and Sarasota. We're in virtually every market in the state of Florida, but my responsibility, our division covers both Tampa, Sarasota, Bradenton in between, and again some of the suburbs and the surrounding areas. So lots of construction, a lot of areas, and you were kind of mentioning it earlier, the traffic into our new home communities. We had a grand opening yesterday at a community called Crystal Lakes down in Bradenton. And I was just there for about 2.5 hours, but we had about 45 people come through.
That's incredible.
45 people in 4 hours.
That's incredible. And I'll tell it's interesting because we're getting back to that time when we're going to start having lotteries for new construction. It's not far off. I mean, as the buzz around downtown Tampa and the stuff that Jeff Innick is doing, is of that same proportion. There are people talking about lotteries at some point, and that's something we'll touch on next week when we talk about the Lightning's impact on local real estate and them winning. Being a perennial winner and the impact, but with new construction, and I think this is something that the emotional side of the home buyer forgets about. But we coach and counsel people all the time through, what do you do when you make an offer on a house and someone else is making an offer on a house? I mean, it's just, it's prevalent, it's common. It's not as likely to happen if they go to a new construction community and have something built, or, existing inventory. I'm not saying it can't happen, because I'm sure it does, but it's not as common. So if they're that person that's afraid of losing out or something like that, working with a builder and working with D.R. Horton, I'm sure that there are ways that emotional letdown that they feel when they're attempting to buy a resale home isn't as common.
Yeah, you don't get into that shootout situation. And again, there's just, and look, there's always going to be a need for resale. There's, new home builders, there's certain places, there's just no land left, so we can't build there.
It's like South Tampa. There's not, I mean, you get the infill, so you get the one-offs and things like that, but it's not like you're going to see very many. I mean, you guys had Schooner Cove, which was awesome, and that's the last.
Sold out there, by the way.
Yeah. I mean, we get people calling us selling. We have one we just listed in there. So we're starting to see people selling what they bought there. But there hasn't been a lot of new large. It's not going to happen in South Tampa. So but in other areas it's prevalent.
Yeah, and just to get back to your question before, so yeah, you can come into one of our new home communities and pick the lot you want, or again, we'll have inventory homes there. We'll have things on the ground that are either at completion or near completion, and maybe one of those work for you. Or you can pick your view, pick your floor plan, pick your colors, and in general, it takes us about 4.5 months to build your home start to finish.
And if you haven't driven by our building at 6320 South Maybe you'll see a big D.R. Horton sign on it. You can step in and see any D.R. Horton neighborhood or inventory with our team on site. So if you're in South Tampa or you're driving back and forth from the base and you want to stop in, we can certainly help with that. But Arnie, you had a question?
Yeah, I got a question for Scott. I mean, we talked about people working out of the house and more innovation now in the homes. What is the one innovation you guys have implemented in your new homes that helps the people that work out of the house, you think?
Well, yeah, from a technology perspective, working out of the house, a couple things. I think it's as simple as, the style of the homes. It used to be that you were using formal living rooms and formal dining rooms, and that was you'd seen a lot of homes. Almost very few people want both the combination of formal living room and dining room, and so we're providing flex spaces in the house.
Yeah.
And I would tell you about 80% of the time they go with the den option. But it's probably 100% of the time when that person works from home, so they can have their own private den, private office. And so just having that workspace, so when the kids are running around being crazy.
I'm even seeing you guys, and not just across the board. I'm seeing more builders setting it up to where the office is a little more private and secluded away from the activity of the home for that same reason.
Exactly. You want to have that the privacy, so they can get that work done. Maybe take that conference call, and they don't have kids screaming in the background while doing the conference call. But then just from being wireless and the technology in the home to have the systems and whatnot that they need to run their office from their home, we make those things available.
Yeah, that's interesting. Well. You had that formal living room. Always in the past, we always had that formal living room. I always thought that was like the museum room, because nobody ever stepped in. You just kind of looked at the furniture. You just kind of looked at the furniture and you just passed by.
That's it. Exactly. So they're getting rid of the museum room. We're up against a break. We're going to continue the conversation. We're going to talk a little bit about the Sarasota Bradenton market. I know you guys are heavy down there. We're opening an office in Sarasota Bradenton, and then obviously we're going to talk a little bit more. The first construction on Jeff Innick's downtown Tampa project is now targeted for August. So a lot of people are thinking, oh, it's gonna take a while, and it's not. So we'll be back after a quick break here on the Duncan Duo Show.